I got my wisdom teeth, all 4 of them removed, while I was wide awake. I could hear everything, I could see everything. There is a chance that you might end up getting physically sick. I was very nauseous. That should be the worst of it because you're not gonna feel anything after that. So you're about to get your wisdom teeth removed and you've been freaking out, looking for a million different videos on what to do, what not to do, and you have no idea where to start. I have gotten my wisdom teeth taken out before. I've gotten all 4 of mine taken out at the same time with no general anesthesia. I only got local, meaning I was wide awake during the entire thing. So I'm gonna give you a few tips on what to do and what not to do before, during, and after your extraction. I'm not gonna waste any time, we're just gonna get right into this. The night before your extraction, actually maybe like a few days to a week before your extraction, start preparing the foods that you are going to eat. You're not gonna be able to eat any solid food, you can only eat soft foods. So I would recommend having bananas on hand, oatmeal, mashed potatoes, smoothies, soups, anything that is soft that you'll be able to get down without having to chew. Also, yogurt is a great option as well. I found a yogurt that had protein in it, so I opted for that. I did do an entire video on my entire wisdom teeth experience. If you want to go watch that, I'll link it here and also put it in the description. But whatever other soft foods you can think of, just buy those and have them on hand before your extraction. Trust me, you do not want to get your wisdom teeth out and get home just to find out you have nothing to eat. And you're gonna have to eat because you're gonna be taking medications, but I'll get to that later. Okay, now that we have the food part aside, let's talk about what you should prepare the night before in your bedroom. So if you have a bed nightstand, you're gonna want to prepare that the night before, clear it out, and make room for items for after your extraction. So you're gonna wanna have things on there like your pain medications, you're gonna wanna have snacks, soft snacks of course, you're gonna wanna have water. I would really recommend having tissues on hand because you are going to be bleeding for a short while after you get your wisdom teeth removed. They most likely will give you cotton pads to use, we'll get to that later, but it's still good to have just something like tissues beside you just in case you need them. You probably aren't gonna wanna be walking around and looking for things when you're bleeding and in pain. You'll also wanna just have your phone and your charger, maybe a few books, just something to keep you occupied while you're recovering during that first day. And something that I would really recommend that you have next to you on your bedside table is either a plastic bag or a paper bag. Just because, and I know you probably don't want to hear this, but there is a chance that you might end up getting physically sick, because I know I did. I ended up throwing up on the second day, day 2. Day 1, I was very nauseous by the end of the night. Day 2, I was very nauseous and I did end up getting physically sick. So I had to run to the bathroom. I ended up getting sick because I hadn't eaten enough. So the medications that they give you are such a high dose and they're so strong. And because of that, you have to eat food with them. If you don't eat enough food, they're going to make you sick. And that's what happened to me. I thought I had eaten enough, but I guess I didn't. And it's honestly really hard to eat enough food when you just got your wisdom teeth taken out and you're bleeding and you just don't want to put anything in your mouth. So just be aware, it's okay if it happens. I actually called my dentist office literally minutes after that happened. I was like, am I okay? And they were like, yes, it's fine. You know, you just didn't eat enough. They actually recommended to always eat bananas because they kind of form a lining in your gut or in your stomach, and they just make it so that it's less likely for you to get nauseous or get physically sick. The thing is, you're gonna have to be taking your medicines on time every time. So if that means you're gonna have to wake up at 4 a.m. to take the next dose of medicine, then you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to take that next dose of medicine. Do not miss it, you will be in pain. Anyways, the reason that I'm saying this is, again, keep bananas or some type of snack on your bedside table to eat when you take these medications. So that's pretty much everything for the week leading up to the extraction or the night before leading up to the extraction. Now I want to talk about the day of, okay? Like, you're about to go in, you're so nervous, and you're like, oh my God, this is happening. I got my wisdom teeth, all 4 of them removed while I was wide awake, okay? I could hear everything, I could see everything. but I was not in pain. So I'm gonna get into that. So for me, this is how it happened. I got to the office, I had somebody drive me. You technically could drive by yourself if you did only local anesthesia like I did, where you're awake. If you're doing general, you cannot drive yourself because you're going to be delirious. So you're gonna get there and you're gonna be waiting, okay? And the anxiety is going to build up because when you get to an office, there's usually, I probably waited for like 20, 30 minutes before I actually went in, and the anxiety just kept building up and building up. But something that helped me a lot while I was waiting there was breathing in and out of my nose. It really helps ease your anxiety. And I also did this during the extraction, which I'll get to in a second. But so the doctor will come out and they will bring you to the chair and you're gonna sit there and they're gonna ask you some questions. These are the sequence of events. I wrote them down. So they put a local numbing paste in my mouth first. And then after the local numbing paste, that's when they started using a needle to insert the local anesthesia. So I got all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed. So they did a needle here, a needle here, a needle up there, and a needle up there inside the mouth where the gums are, just to numb the area. For me, on the tops, there was a slight pinch, so it wasn't that bad. Once they started going into the bottom gums, I got like this really sharp, almost electric feeling. I did not like it at all. It kind of radiated from the inside of my gums to my cheeks and my lips, but that feeling only lasted a few seconds. So you might feel something like that and you might not. Everybody reacts differently, but the good thing is that should be the worst of it because you're not gonna feel anything after that. After they did that, they kind of let it sit, they went and did something else, and I just sat there while the numbing agent was doing its thing. And then maybe 10 or 13 minutes later, they came back and they asked me if I could feel anything. They were kind of like feeling around my mouth and I said yes. So then they went ahead and put some more anesthesia numbing agent in my mouth. At this point, I was kind of like shaky and cold, but I think it was just nerves. So after they put the second round of the needle, they left again, let it sit in there, came back, asked me how I was feeling. And then after that point, I really could feel the numbing kicking in. I could not move my mouth. I just could not feel anything, which is exactly what you want. So once we were all 100,000,000,000% sure that I couldn't feel anything, that's when they decided, okay, let's start the extraction. Now, this is the part where you might start freaking out even more. They are going to start whipping things out. They're gonna start whipping tools and all kinds of stuff. Don't look at it. It doesn't concern you, okay? Just sit there, close your eyes, and like I said before, breathe through your nose and breathe out of your mouth and keep doing that. Another thing that I saw on some forums is some people were able to bring headphones with them. So you could ask your oral surgeon ahead of time if you can bring headphones. Some offices may not allow that, but some may. So the worst they're gonna say is no, so you might as well just ask them. I didn't bring anything, so I was just sitting there listening to the beautiful sound of my wisdom teeth being ripped out of their sockets. But it's not that bad, trust me. So let's get into how I personally was feeling during the extraction. So they have these tools that they're gonna use to kind of like twist and tug at your tooth. I did not feel a single thing. All I felt was pressure. Like imagine somebody's just pressing down on a part of your body. That's all it feels like. You don't feel any pain at all. It's just a ton of pressure, just kind of like you're squeezing something, you know, but it's not painful. And because you're going to be awake, you're going to hear things. So it's kind of, you'll be hearing some crackling noises, like whatever. Just ignore it. It's not even there, okay? It's just a hallucination. Just pretend that you're at a campfire, okay? You're just at a nice campfire, it's relaxing, and the crackling noises are the sound of the fire that you're baking s'mores on. They will be digging around in there, okay? And then before you know it, boop, it's out of the socket. I literally couldn't even feel when they removed it or not. It wasn't until they actually like pulled something out and I can see with my eyes, I'm like, oh my God, there's my tooth. And honestly, it didn't take that long for mine. Some people, it might take longer for the dentist to pull your tooth out depending on if it's impacted or just how it's sitting in your gums. But generally it should not take that long at all. I got all 4 of mine taken out. By the time he got to, I think this one, he got it out so fast. No, actually, I thought he was working on this side the entire time, but then all of a sudden he goes, okay, we're done. And I'm like, what? He's like, we're done. I'm like, did you not get the other one? He's like, no, I got it. So that just proves you literally do not feel anything. I had no idea he was even working on the side of my mouth or that he even removed this one. It was so fast. The whole thing probably took definitely under an hour. I would say maybe like 30 to 40 minutes for all 4 of mine. It did not take that long at all. So then all of my teeth were taken out and I was pretty much done. He ended up giving me some more numbing needle in my mouth before I left, just to kind of keep any pain at bay, just to kind of make the numbing last a little bit longer throughout the rest of the day. So after he did that, he gave me my script for my pain medications. So we immediately drove to the pharmacy and we grabbed those. He also gave me some cotton pads to put in my mouth. So we put some of those in before I had left. You are going to be bleeding for a few hours after you get your wisdom teeth taken out. It is kind of gross, but it just happens. It's normal and you just kind of have to just deal with it, to be honest. There's nothing you can do. I don't know why I still have these, but I do. So these are the exact cotton pads that he had given me. I would fold them over and then I would just put them, I might as well just do this just to show you. I would fold them over just to make them absorb more and I would stick them at the back of my mouth. So one all the way up there, and then the other one all the way back here. So these are just gonna help absorb all of the blood, but that should subside by the end of the day. Now here's the thing, so when I got home, he told me I had to take my pain meds pretty much right away, and the thing is, there was blood all up in my mouth. It was really disgusting, but you might just have to take your medicine while there's blood in your mouth. So if you do come across that, I highly urge you to not put off taking your medicine. You have to take it right away. It's better to take the pain meds right away and maybe swallow a little bit of blood than it is to not take them and then just be in excruciating pain for however many hours. And then, so after a few hours, 3-ish, 4-ish, that's when I started getting a little bit of feeling back, like the numbing was wearing off a little bit so I could feel my mouth. So now I'm gonna get into what not to do after you get your wisdom teeth taken out. Number 1, do not drink out of straws. If you drink out of a straw, you could cause dry sockets, and those could be very, very painful, and it's going to take a lot longer for you to heal if you get a dry socket. And if you don't know what a dry socket is, I'm just gonna read off a definition for you. A dry socket can occur 3 to 4 days after an adult tooth is removed. The blood clot that should form after removal is dislodged or dissolved before the wound heals. This exposes underlying bone and nerves. So when you're drinking out of a straw, that could dislodge that blood clot, and you really, really don't want that. So if you will be drinking smoothies, either drink them out of the cup or eat them with a spoon. Also, I know that this is going to be something that a lot of you might want to do, which is put water in your mouth and swish it around and then spit it out to get the blood out. Don't do that. That could also cause dry sockets. The best thing you could do, which is what my dentist said, is to just put water in your mouth and then put your head over the sink, then open your mouth and let it all fall out, but do not do a spitting motion or anything like that. And the last thing I'm gonna say to not do after the extraction, especially the day of, is to go anywhere, even if you think that you feel fine, because I thought I was fine and I was for a few hours after the extraction. And so I ended up going somewhere and I wasn't really feeling too much. Like I kind of felt a little bit of sensation, but the pain was fine for me. It wasn't until I got back, like right when I got back, that I started getting very nauseous and started feeling very sick. So it was lucky that I had gotten back when I did, but you don't want to have to deal with that when you're out somewhere and you don't know when you're gonna come back home. So just take it easy, grab a few books, watch some movies, watch some YouTube videos, just whatever, just kind of chill. Like take that time to just relax and take care of yourself. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is sleep. You're probably gonna wonder, how am I supposed to sleep? You're technically supposed to sleep on your back with your head propped up. So, you don't really want to lean off to one side or the other. I just really couldn't do that. It's kind of hard for me to sleep on my back sometimes. I'm such a side sleeper. So what I ended up doing is I did sleep on my back, but I eventually ended up kind of grabbing a pillow and propping it up high so that way my head was elevated, and also having it at a position where it wasn't touching my mouth at all or my jaw. so it was really kind of like my head was propped up against it. But just do what your dentist says if you can help it, and you should be good to go. And again, just to reiterate, you should have done this the night before, but keep snacks on your bedside table. Keep your pain meds on your bedside table. Keep water at your bedside table. You're going to need it because you are going to be taking your pain meds throughout the night possibly. You might have to wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. to take your medications, and you don't want to have to go to the kitchen, go downstairs, go grab water. You want it all right there for you, so that way you're not causing any extra steps that you really shouldn't be doing after you've gotten your wisdom teeth removed. And set alarms. Don't miss your medication times. I'm telling you, especially for your antibiotics. If you don't take your antibiotics in time, you could risk getting an infection, and that is really the last thing you want. So please take your antibiotics, and also try to avoid dry sockets as best as you possibly can. So that's everything. I really hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer all of them. I think I covered a wide range of topics regarding this, but if I missed anything, just ask me and I will be more than happy to help. If you haven't watched my full vlog on my entire wisdom teeth experience from the day before to my actual extraction to when I got sick and just all of that, I vlogged the entire experience. So I'm gonna link it in the cards, and I'm also gonna link it in the description. I highly recommend you watch it. I think it's very informative as well. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. And good luck. Bye.